Hey there everybody, I am here once again from the Canadian Daily channel with a do-it-yourself project. Very simple. We're going to make a housing for this. This is supposed to be watertight, but I don't know. This is a projector unit for like holiday lights, and it's programmable through the smartphone. So it says countdown, it says how many to the holiday, like Christmas, and it shows the days and the minutes, seconds, and hours, minutes, and seconds. So anyway, it's pretty cool. It's like a laser light type of thing. Make it waterproof, really, and keep it safe from the elements. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in a box and seal it up. And you think, geez, that's kind of silly, isn't it? Well, no, because it'll protect it and you'll have it for many years. So here's how I'm going to do it. First off, just need a couple small supplies, really. Need some sticky back Velcro with it that you can get at the dollar store. So we're going to use that. Of course, the light itself. Now, the light itself comes with a stand. Now, this part is already on it, and I already unscrewed it. And basically it's like this, and it has this like weird little forky thing, which is a tripod that pops out like that on a spring that you just laid on the ground and all that. But if you're somewhere that has a lot of snow, it's going to be totally useless. So I just took that off. Now we're going to put that in the container when we're done with it. So we're just going to put the light aside for now. We're going to bring out the Rubbermaid roughneck container, and these are the ones that I use right here. They're the 11.3 liter or 3 gallon. These things are virtually indestructible. Yes, they are. They're really great in the cold weather here in Canada, and I suppose anywhere. They're easy to work with, and they are watertight, and they snap down, and you don't have to worry about getting anything really in them. They won't crack. They will not crack. They do have a lot of give to them. So don't buy cheap containers. Spend a few extra dollars. This one cost me $6.99, but it's well worth it for the protection. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some Velcro on the bottom of the light, and then we're going to stick it in the box. But what we're going to do is we're going to stick that lens right up to the edge, just like so. So you can see right there, that's where the lens will come out. What we're going to do is we're going to mark it, and then we're going to cut it out. And you're going to say, well, how is that waterproof anymore? Well, we're going to get a piece of clear plastic and hot glue it on the inside. Okay, so that will waterproof it. And we're just creating a little window for that projection to get through. And then on the other end of things here, we're going to cut a little hole, put the cord through, and then seal it up with hot glue and make it watertight. So right now, this thing on the end of the cable here is kind of annoying. So what we're going to do is we're not going to cut it off. I don't want to cut it off. You can move it around. It's tricky, but we're going to move it down to the end. And once I get it moved down to the end, that'll be great. And we can slip this out through, seal that up nice and tight, and we're going to keep that steady by the Velcro on the bottom. And then of course we put that on the thing, mount this up into the tree, and project away. So let's get at this. Let's just get some Velcro happening on this puppy first. And so you don't need a lot, I don't suppose, but you can put whatever amount you want. It's pretty cheap. So put whatever piece that you want, the fuzzy end up or the fuzzy side down. Suit yourself. That's just your own, be your own thing. Now I'm going to put a strip about yay long like that. You can put little strips across if you want. I'm going to do it this way. This is just the way I'm doing it. You don't have to follow what I'm doing exactly, but it gives you an idea as to what I'm doing. So I'm going to put the fuzzy side on the light itself. Now this is just some old Velcro, double backed, because it has the loop on one side and the fuzzy on the other, and it's kind of devilish to get this paper off it, so it will come off. It will. You can't really use that for sewing because needles don't like to go through that glue. That's why I had bought it for costumes one time, but couldn't use it. So Anyway, that's a garbage. And then we find our fuzzy piece again, which is this one here. We peel him back. There we go. Put that in the garbage. And now we put it over here. Just like that. Now you're going to notice that there's a door here with some Phillips screws. Now, without me taking note, there's 2 batteries in here, AA batteries, and that is just to keep the time, I guess, or keep it programmed while it's not turned on. I'm not sure. That's my guess at it. Doesn't matter about that. You just want access to it. So this is why I'm Velcroing this in, and it seems to be a pretty easy way to mount it in the box anyway, and keep it from jiggling around, losing its window up at the front. So we want it up as close as we can to the front, of course. Now this box is overkill for it because it seems to be a lot bigger than what it really needs, but that's okay. It's the smallest Rubbermaid you can really get that they make like this. These have proven to me time and time again outdoors for many years that they withstand the harsh cold and winter and freezing and rain and everything. I put power bars in them. I got lights in them. I got all kinds of stuff in these things, and they're the greatest. And I mean, I even turned them this way with the front open, mounted with projectors coming out this way to project onto the house with no protection whatsoever. It's just like an easy thing to store them in. The projectors are all mounted with a plug, and I just snap the cover on, put it in the garage, and away it's done for the rest of the year type of thing. So what we're going to do here, like I said, is cut this out now, but we're going to use a dry erase marker. Dry erase markers are good. Get a dark one, purple maybe, because you want to be able to see it on the blue. Because if you make a mistake, you're not going to notice it with a dry erase marker because you can just wipe it off. And I'll show you, because you put your dry erase marker on like that. If you use a permanent marker, it's on there for good. The dry erase marker might stain it just a little bit, but if you work at it and work at it and work at it, even with some alcohol, it's going to come off with alcohol. So it's not going to be a permanent dark mark. So now that we got that there, we're just going to give it the old line like that. Now, here comes the tricky part. How am I going to get down underneath this thing? So I'm going to take it up like this, and I'm going to put it on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it off to the side where the lamp is, and I can see through the box here. Right there is the top end of it. So bear with me here for a second. So I can see through the top end where I got my mark. So I'm going to mark it on the outside of the box, okay? Just like that. Now I can go by, now I can just try to make a circle around that size, and we're ready to go. And if it's a circle or a square, it doesn't really matter, I don't think, because it's going to be a window, because you're going to just cut it out and you're going to glue plastic on the inside of the box and just around the outside so no water gets in it. So that's how we're going to make that watertight. So that's the window for the actual projection to come out of. If I'm going through this too quick or you don't understand anything, please leave a comment down below, or drop me an email, and I can do another question and answer video, or try to answer you in the comments if I can. Just going to back that off. Excuse me for the messy work desk that I have here, but trying to get a lot of stuff here done before Christmas. And We're going to cut that out obviously before we mount it, and it'll fit right in there. So if we can't get our total projection out that hole, we'll check it before we make the clear plastic piece to glue on there, of course, just to make sure that it does work. So where would I like the hole to come out the back end of this? I would say probably right over here on this side, because that is where the cord is. So I mean, just straight out, just make a square cut like that somewhere in there. Doesn't have to be fancy, because you're going to plug it up with the same piece that you cut out. Save that piece that you cut out, because you're going to nick it out just to fit around the cord, and hot glue that all back in. And use the hot glue, the high temperature hot glue, because it'll melt it nice and gooey, and it'll fit it in there perfect. And then we can put the top on it and put some tie wraps around the top, so it'll never have to come out unless you have to change the batteries, you know, type of thing. So, and then it'll be sealed tight, and you can even run some duct tape all around that if you want after the fact. It's totally up to you. Anyway, let's get those holes cut in this now, and I'll get right back to you after I cut the holes. Okay, I am back, and I figured I will cut the holes, and I'll show you how I do it, because I'll be damned, there's going to be somebody that will ask me, how do you cut the holes, or what do you use to cut the holes with? Guaranteed. So basically, I'm going to just show you. I take an X-Acto knife, one of these. That's all I use, is one of them. You can use like a box cutter, which is like a normal knife type of thing, or a very sharp pair of scissors, but this is probably the best thing to use. Just be very careful when you're doing it, because things like that happen and it pulls out. So you have to be very careful that you don't cut yourself, because you don't want that, of course. Now, when you're cutting this, you don't have to do a nice round circle or anything like that. It doesn't have to be fancy at all, because you're not going to be seeing the hole, so what difference does it make, you know? It really doesn't matter. So as long as you cut your hole out, just do it slowly, and you'll get it done. Don't rush. There's never be in a rush to do something on a project, because that's part of the fun, is just taking your time and doing it, because you can say, oh, well, I did this myself. Now, I'm going to just knock that out. So we've got our hole cut. Keep this piece of plastic for something that you might need to patch something or use it for something. Just keep it. It's handy. So we have our hole cut now for our projection hole, we'll call it. And let's see how well, or how good I was measuring it. Well, actually I was kind of off. So, but doesn't matter, because right there the lens still shines through, so it was a little bit bigger than I wanted it. I went through the ring. Now you can make it so your ring fits through, but then it's not going to be protected from the outside elements, right? So that's okay. That should fit fine. It should work fine. I'm going to test it to make sure that, you know, this is not too high right here or anything in its way. And we're going to put that clear piece of plastic in there, and that should be fine. So I'll do that in a second. I'm just going to cut out the hole for the power there. Now, where do I want to do it there, or do I want to do it on the side and the middle part? Let's do it in the middle. What the heck? We got tons of room on this, so we're just going to peel the label back here. And I don't even need the label, actually. But what we're going to do, we're just going to get a rough size of the plug. Get into the camera here so you can see it. So that gives us more than enough wiggle room that way and that way. So there's the size of the hole we need. Now, there's a secret to doing this one too. You don't want to cut the whole thing out, but you don't want to cut the top. You want to cut this side, and this side. And you're going to say, what in the hell are you doing that for? What's that going to prove? You want to get it out there so you can put the plug through. Yes, but remember I said we're going to cover it back over with this piece that we cut out. So rather than cutting the whole thing out, we're just going to make a flap just long enough to poke that plug out through there, and then we're going to be sealing it back up. So we will cut like a little indentation in the middle for the wire like that to come through, and then we'll hot glue that. So let's just do that now. Let's not show you how we do that, but I won't hot glue it right yet. I'll hot glue it in a little bit. So we're gonna just go over here. Like I said, just take your time doing this because you don't want to slip and cut down through the thing too far. I have done that before on some of my older boxes, and it is not fun trying to fix them up, and you can ruin them. So there we go. Just knock that back and knock it out. See, we got a little flap right there like that. Now our plug should fit nicely through that hole. And it does, see? So, now, what we want to do is cut out a little hole there, just to keep the cord to come through and close the flap, and then hot glue that all around, and it'll be a nice little happy plug sitting through the hole. Yeah, he'll be really happy, won't he? Because he'll be, like, glued in there, and it'll be great. He'll be happy. I'll be happy. You know, everybody can be happy. Sounds like a Bob Ross video I'm doing now. But anyway, so there we go. We got that there. And we just press this back in. Once our cord is through, there it is. Hot glue this all back around this. Once you get your cord in, of course, to the length of that you want it, hot glue this all around. You can tape it on the inside until you get it hot glued. It is a little bit tricky, but hot glue it on the outside and make sure he's all nice and sealed up. I'll show you this in the process as I go. Then hot glue it on the inside. Then he's nice and watertight there. The clear plastic, like I said on the other hole, will make it watertight. So that is that. Let's get this here to make sure this is working properly. We're going to mount this in now. We're just going to peel off that other backing of the Velcro. And it is very sticky. So we're going to stick that right down there. And the light is not coming out. So Velcro is holding it nicely. That's what we want. Let's put our cord through. Well, we gotta deal with this thing too, because it's driving me crazy. We might actually, I don't like cutting things off, but I'm gonna end up cutting it off. Right? Just like that. But I'm gonna stick it on the cable way down here at the bottom. Just so we have it on there so we know what it's from and all its particulars. And it's in the box and it's sealed, so we don't really have to worry about that anyway. And we'll put all the cord there. I'll run that cord out through. Remember, these have the fuses in here. Fuses are in that plug. So you have to change a fuse or something, you're okay, because it's going to be outside. So leave a little bit of cord in here. As like a strain relief, I guess you want to call it. And if you've got to get this out to work on it, to change the battery or something, you don't want it so tight that you can't maneuver it around. So leave about a foot and a half in there. That should be fine to get it out and get it on the desk. That's what I would do. I would leave, let me just measure that so you can get an idea of how much cord you can leave out. I'm going to leave out that much cord. I'm going to leave that much out. That gives me, yeah, it's 12 inches. So leave a foot behind, right there, in there. Okay, let's just pop that there, close him off, and remount this. The sticky came off it, of course. Now you can hot glue that bottom piece of Velcro to the plastic container if you want, and it's not going to go anywhere, trust me, if you hot glue it. So that's that. You got about a foot in there or so. What we're going to do is we're going to mark that, so in a special way, of course. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. Okay, so right about there. So all I'm going to do right there, so I'm going to grab a cable tie and put on there. So that's going to give it one, strain relief from being pulled at any time, and keep it from going out through the hole if the glue ever comes undone. So we got our foot there. You can, it's nice and tight there. Okay, that's there. Now let me just snip that off down here a little bit because we don't need all that cable on there. Now I'm going to hot glue that all around, and we'll be good to go there. Keep that nice and tight. I'll get a clear piece of plastic in the meantime. I got some kicking around, just like off top of a pie dish or anything. That's all you need. It doesn't have to be fancy. As long as it's clear and it's not scratched up, you should be fine. Good to go. I went to get a piece of plastic, and I'm kind of like short on plastic, so I just happen to have a cable, Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable, kicking around. So this is pretty clear. There's no distortion in it, there's no scratches, it doesn't diffuse light. It's got to be clear. Even a little piece of glass will work fine, but glass don't tend to hot glue so well. The plastic does. So we're going to use this, and it will cover that hole. Just cover it. So we're going to try to cut that as per se. Let's just see here. So it should cover it fairly well. Pretty darn close anyway. Just like that. What we're going to do is cut that piece out. And I just lost the top of my marker somewhere. There he is. I put things down and I forget where I put them. Anyway, so let's just snip that out. Does not have to be perfect because it's going to be hot glued inside, right? So as long as you got enough to cover that hole, you'll be going smoothly. So then we got that there, and that is going to cover that hole. It's kind of hard to work with here, but that will cover that hole. Hot glue it in, and it looks like it's going to be nice and watertight. Now it's kind of hard to see, but at the top you'll see the reflection down there, or the projection, and it is going through, that piece of plastic that I cut. I have not hot glued it in. I'm double checking to make sure it is clear and that everything can be seen, and it is. So I'm quite happy with that. So I can actually go ahead and hot glue that piece of plastic in and seal this box up. So that's what I wanted to double check, but I had to turn off the lights to do it. And actually, it's pretty good lighting here with even the lights out. So I'm going to go ahead and hot glue that in now. I am going to turn a light on so I can see what I'm gluing. So let's get that hot glue gun going here. Okay. Okay, we've got that in there so far, and we're going to put the rest of it in. Now, like I said, I wanted to make sure work first. And if the glue seeps out all around it, that's alright. Not worrying about that. That makes sure it's good and waterproof. And that's what we want, a nice waterproof hole there. We won't get any glue on that hole though, through that hole there on the plastic, because that'll frig it all up and you won't be able to see anything through it. So that's glued in there now on that side, and yeah, it looks pretty watertight on this side too. But we can run a bead of glue around the edge. Just be careful when you do that, because you don't want to get it on there too much. And it is very hot, so be very, very careful. Okay, I'm going to probably use the smaller glue gun to do that job with, just because that's got a big nib on it. Might get it all over the lens, and I don't want to do that. And I'm going to call that clear piece that I added in there the lens. So is put the hot glue on the back of that sticky Velcro. You know, like I say, you don't have to, but I'm doing it just to make sure. And just stick it down like that. Just hold it there for a little bit. Make sure our cable is out of the way and it's not in the way of the projector. And see, if it's not sitting quite right when you glue that in, that's okay, because it's Velcro. You can readjust it a little bit, but it looks okay. Now we got the hole there. Let's say right there, because we got our on that strain relief, and let's seal this up. And once again, you don't have to be too particular about this, because you're going to jam that glue all around there just to seal it up and make it nice and now I need another big hot glue stick, but I can seal that up later on the inside. But as you can see, it's all sealed here on this side, so we're going well. And let's just plug it in to verify once again. I always do steps like this, and yes, I can see it over there on the wall. As you can see, it's coming out there and is fully showing what it should be showing. So we're laughing, we're good to go. We can install this up in the tree now, and it'll look great. That's it. So put the cover on it, just a couple little holes there and there if you want, tie, or at least one on each end, just to keep the cover down nice and tight. Put some tie strap on it, tickety-boo, off you go. And that's how you make a nice sealed watertight container for your projection lamps or any type of fixtures that you want to protect in the outside elements. So we're going to stick this cable tie through the little hole that I just made with the X-Acto knife. Line it up with the hole in the bottom here of the handle, and it'll go through that nicely like that, and straight down through. So then we can just bring them back up through like this, and put your little clip part on the bottom side of it so it just don't show. Now you can put both of them if you like, or just one, suit yourself. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like I said, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below or give me an email. If you like what you've seen here today and like me to do some more, drop me a like. Please subscribe, helps me out. And I will talk to you guys again in the next video. Bye for now.